The setting was Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. The Los Angeles Dodgers came into town to face the Arizona Diamondbacks in a crucial National League West matchup. This was not just another regular season game. The Dodgers entered this contest with a firm hold on first place in the NL West, looking to tighten that grip against one of their most dangerous division rivals. The Diamondbacks, playing at home in front of their passionate fan base, were desperate for a statement win. The atmosphere at Chase Field was electric from the very first pitch. Two teams competing for the same division crown, playoff positioning directly on the line. From almost the very first moment, it became clear that the Dodgers had a plan. And that plan revolved entirely around Shohei Ohtani. Batting as the leadoff hitter for Los Angeles, Ohtani wasted absolutely no time making his presence felt. Right from the opening inning, he stepped into the batter's box and put the ball in play hard, finding his way onto the base paths with an outstanding double. With Ohtani standing on second base, the Dodgers' offense immediately went to work. Up came Freddie Freeman, one of the most reliable run producers in all of baseball, and Freeman delivered in the biggest way possible. He got a pitch he liked, put a perfect swing on it, and sent that baseball sailing over the outfield wall for a powerful two-run home run. Before the Diamondbacks even had a chance to settle in, the Dodgers had jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Fast forward to the fourth inning. The Dodgers leading 2-0, but the Diamondbacks still very much in the game. 1 out, 2 runners on base. A genuine high-leverage situation with the potential to completely swing the momentum. And who steps into the batter's box? Shohei Ohtani. From the Diamondbacks' perspective, the situation was incredibly uncomfortable. Already down 2 runs, their crowd nervous, their players feeling the pressure, and the one man in that Dodgers lineup who scares every opposing team more than anyone else in baseball was standing 60 feet away with 2 runners on base and a chance to blow the game wide open. Ohtani rose to the occasion in the most spectacular fashion. He read the pitch perfectly, drove the ball with tremendous force deep into the corner of the outfield. And by the time the Diamondbacks outfielders tracked it down and got it back into the infield, Ohtani was not stopping at first. He was not stopping at second. He was rounding third and sliding in with a quality triple that had the entire Dodgers bench on their feet. Both runners crossed home plate, 2 crucial RBIs. The Dodgers' lead suddenly ballooned to 4-0. It was also Ohtani's second triple of the 2026 season, further proof of the extraordinary offensive form he has maintained throughout this campaign. The Dodgers fans inside Chase Field erupted into chants, Ohtani's name echoing around the ballpark. But on the other side of the field, something very different was happening. The cameras caught it clearly. The frustration on the faces of the Diamondbacks players was impossible to hide. You could see it in their body language. You could see it in the way they were looking at each other. A team that had come into this game believing they could compete with the best in the league was now staring at a 4-run deficit largely because of one man. And that frustration was about to boil over in a way that nobody in that stadium could have predicted. What happened next will be talked about for a very long time. Ohtani had just completed his impressive triple and was standing on third base when 3 Diamondbacks players began moving toward him: Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll, and Nolan Arenado. At first, most people watching assumed this was routine competitive chatter between rivals. But within seconds, it became clear that what was happening at third base was not routine conversation. The 3 Diamondbacks players began directing verbal insults at Ohtani. The words were aggressive, the tone was hostile, and the situation was escalating fast. Then it crossed the line. The verbal attacks gave way to a physical confrontation. All 3 players, Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll, and Nolan Arenado, allegedly made physical contact with Ohtani in an incident that immediately sent the entire stadium into shock. The reaction was instantaneous and overwhelming. Fans jumped to their feet. Gasps and screams filled Chase Field. Mookie Betts was the first one out of the Dodgers dugout, sprinting toward third base without a moment's hesitation. Right behind him came Freddie Freeman, the same man who had hit that 2-run home run just innings earlier. Then Dalton rushing. Then more Dodgers players pouring out of the dugout one after another, all of them with one mission: get to Ohtani and protect their teammate. Within just a matter of seconds, dozens of athletes and coaches from both organizations were involved in a chaotic scene that had completely taken over Chase Field. Through every second of that chaos, Shohei Ohtani did something that made fans and analysts around the world stop and take notice. He stayed calm while players were shouting, while bodies were colliding, while the entire field was descending into pandemonium. Ohtani remained composed. He was not throwing punches. He was not screaming back. He was not escalating the situation in any way. He focused entirely on protecting himself and making sure things did not get worse. That image, Ohtani standing composed at the center of a storm that 3 other players had created, said everything about who he is as a professional. After several tense minutes of review and discussion among the umpiring crew, the officials handed down their decision, and it was firm. Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll, and Nolan Arenado were all immediately ejected from the game. The reason? Unsportsmanlike conduct and direct involvement in an incident that endangered the safety of another player. Major League Baseball has always maintained a very clear and very serious stance when it comes to acts of physical aggression on the field. When a confrontation moves beyond competitive trash talk and crosses into actual physical contact directed at an opposing player, the consequences are severe. Despite losing 3 key players to ejections, the Diamondbacks dug in and made this game incredibly interesting in the late innings. Dodgers starter Eric Lauer had been solid through most of the game, but he allowed a couple of runs, and suddenly the comfortable 4-run lead was trimmed to 4-2. Then in the 7th inning, Dalton rushing sparked a Dodgers rally with a double. Alex Freeland executed a perfectly placed sacrifice bunt to move the runner to third. The Diamondbacks faced a massive decision. Shohei Ohtani was coming up to bat again. They made the call intentional walk. They would rather face anyone else in that lineup than give Ohtani another opportunity to hurt them. But it did not work out the way they hoped. Andy Pages stepped up immediately and delivered a sacrifice fly that scored the runner from third. Freeman and Betts then kept the rally alive with back-to-back hits, pushing the lead all the way to 6-2. The 9th inning arrived with a 1-run lead and closer Tanner Scott on the mound. Scott got the first out, but then Vargas connected for a hit and suddenly the tying run was on base. The atmosphere inside Chase Field reached an entirely new level of intensity. But Tanner Scott, in the most pressure-packed moment of the entire night, induced weak contact. The defense made the play cleanly, and just like that, ball game. Dodgers win 6-5. This game delivered a leadoff double, a 2 RBI triple, a near comeback, 3 ejections, and one of the most shocking on-field incidents in recent MLB memory, all in a single evening at Chase Field. Ohtani's triple will forever be remembered as a great baseball play. But what happened at third base immediately afterward became the defining moment of this entire game.